Wanderers.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Daddy's Day.
Oh,
That made me think about, I talked about that golf scramble that we had for Memorial Day.
yeah.
Very first hole that we played, TJ tees off. I think he was the first one to tee off for our group. Tees off, smashes the ball. And I mean, it had he barely finished his follow through. And he was like, Daddy came to play!
Ew. So, as you can tell by the title of this episode, we're getting crazy with it again this holiday.
Well, I mean, we talked about some pretty shitty mothers.
Yeah.
Why not talk about some shitty dads?
Yeah.
More, not along the lines of went to go get milk and never came back.
Yeah, more like killed the whole fucking family.
Holy shit. Well, you said it first, or did I? I don't know.
I did.
We kind of lost it.
I
It's
did.
fine.
It's okay.
This episode is marked explicit for language.
Just like all of the other episodes.
And violence.
Yeah, so just a disclaimer, of course, just like for the Mother's Day episode, I'll be talking about death and destruction and just really some sad tales.
But never you fear, because I'm swooping in to save the day with some humor.
With some, what do we call that?
It was there and now it's gone.
Yep. It's right on the tip of my
Comedic
tongue.
relief.
Yes. There we go. So, first up, I've got the Hudgens family, which consisted of Marla Hudgens, who was 40, Christopher, who was 3, Gwen, who was 6 months old, and Faye, who was 6 months old. They were twins, obviously. In case you didn't know. So in November of 2022, police were called. So this is like very, very recent. Police were called to the home of Jason Michael Hudgens and Marla Jordan Hudgens when the family's babysitter arrived before 8 a.m. local time. The call was, in quotations, regarding an unresponsive person inside the home with a strong odor of gas, according to the press release. The hazmat team entered the home and found multiple victims deceased. After verifying that neighboring homes were not in danger and that the gas levels in the home were determined to be safe to enter, police began their investigation. Once inside, detectives discovered the bodies of 2 adults and 3 children from what are believed to be members of the same family. The bodies had obvious signs of trauma. It is believed by police that Jason killed his wife Marla and their children, Christopher and 6-month-old twins Gwen and Faye, before turning a gun on himself and taking his own life. Police stated in a press release that open propane tanks were found inside of the home. Friends of Marla spoke out after the murders, and her friends revealed that Marla was thinking about ending her marriage to Jason. One of Marla's best friends, Brett Haggerty, told Arizona's family, "We knew that marriage was likely ending." Haggerty added that Marla wanted out of the marriage, however, there weren't any warning signs that she was a victim of domestic violence. We never had any indication from her that she felt scared or threatened or unsafe. Just days before Marla and her children were killed, she attended the memorial for her sister, Lexa, who had taken her own life. Her sister had just died by suicide 2 months ago. "We literally just had Lexa's celebration of life on Friday," stated Marla's friend Con Anderson. Haggerty noted her sister's memorial was last Friday and Jason did not go. Marla's close friends questioned why Jason would also murder their children, who they had welcomed after years of struggling with infertility. "She did everything she could to bring them into existence," Haggerty said. "She called them her hot dog and her hamburger because one was long and skinny and one was short and round. to think of her babies and how they won't even get to know how big of a person their mother was, and they won't get to experience it all because they didn't get enough time either. It's just too much. Both friends shared that Marla was very philanthropic and that they planned to join the cause against domestic violence, as they believe Marla would have done the same. And that's my first story. It's short and sweet. Short. It's short. But still sad nonetheless.
Right. But can I also say, and I could be wrong, and if I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I cannot think of one single solitary person by the name of Jason that I have ever met that wasn't some type of douchebag in some type of way.
Yeah.
I just want to put that out there.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Anyways, so to kind of lighten the mood between stories,
I'm gonna go ahead and say the next one's kind of tough.
Okay, so I'm gonna do this portion of it first. I'm gonna give you, like I did for Mother's Day, the history of Father's Day and how it came to be. Okay. So, December 6th of 1907. In the Monongah, Monongah community of Fairmont, West Virginia, which is, let me add this because it was like, I was so excited when I read this. Mm-hmm. I did some research. In the Monongah community of Fairmont, West Virginia, which is the birthplace of the best college football coach in the history of college football, Nick Saban, Roll Tide. 362 men died in what would go down as the worst mine explosion in American history. Oh. The following year, on July 5th, a church in West Virginia held the nation's first event to honor fathers. This sermon was delivered as a one-time commemoration and was not intended to be a yearly deal. The following year, Sonora Smart Dodd lobbied for there to be an equivalent to Mother's Day for male parents. She was a Spokane, Washington native who was raised by her father. Her mother had passed, with her 5 siblings. That was worded weird. Her and her 5 siblings were raised by their father. Their mother had passed. So that sounded like her siblings had passed with their mother. But her dad raised all 6 of them.
Gotcha.
She gained support by presenting the idea to local government officials, churches, the YMCA, and shoe keepers. As a result, Washington State celebrated the nation's first statewide Father's Day on June 19, 1910. In 1916, President Woodrow Wilson sent out telegraph signals to unfurl a flag in Spokane when he pushed a button in D.C. 8 years later, states were urged to observe Father's Day by President Calvin Coolidge. All these years later, we have set that Father's Day is to be celebrated on the 3rd Sunday of June annually. Other countries celebrate Father's Day on St. Joseph's, or celebrate fathers on St. Joseph's Day. This is a traditional Catholic holiday that is celebrated on March 19th. As the holiday gained popularity, though, many men saw it as a commercial grab for money. Just like with Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. They thought it was a way of domesticating manliness. They saw it as unfair to provide gifts, as they were most of the time the only working member of the home. Therefore, they were essentially buying their own gifts.
I get it.
Now, remember, remember how we talked about Anna Reeves Jarvis trying to remove Mother's Day from the calendar?
Yes.
A movement also came about to remove Father's Day as well. There was a proposal to create a single day to celebrate both parents in one. Parents' Day is what they were going to call it. Mm-hmm. In New York City's Central Park, groups would rally annually during the 1920s and 30s on Mother's Day as a public reminder that both parents should be loved and respected together. Parents' Day activists and radio performer Robert Spear was big in on this. Mm-hmm. The idea of this combined holiday was lost as retailers would advertise goods such as neckties, hats, socks, pipes, and tobacco, golf clubs, and other sporting goods as a massive effort to bring in as much revenue as possible during the Great Depression. They tried to make it like a second Christmas for dads. Once World War II began, this holiday was marketed as supporting the war effort and support for the troops. Father's Day finally became a federal holiday in 1972 when Richard Nixon was in the middle of his re-election campaign. And then fun fact, it is estimated that Americans spend more than $1 billion each year on Father's Day gifts.
Wow.
So, there's that.
And I just get my dad some kind of candy. Usually something weird.
Man, listen, I always struggle every year to figure out what I'm going to do for my dad for Father's Day. Because, also TJ's dad. Because, what do you get the man that just buys whatever he wants when he wants it?
Right.
There's nothing.
I don't know, make them steak and baked potatoes. They both seem like that's what they like.
They both really enjoy that, but that takes... I feel like they both enjoy grilling their own steak, though. That's a man thing.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I don't know nothing about making those steaks.
Speaking of, TJ and the kids went to go get steak at O'Charlie's tonight while I'm here recording, and I just ate red beans and rice from Popeyes.
Hey, you were stoked about that when you got here.
I was. It was so good, too. I've been craving it for a couple days. But that's all I've got for that one.
Alright, so I'm going to dive head first into the case of the Powell family. Have you ever heard of the Powells?
It rings a bell.
Okay. So on December 6th, 2009, Susan, Charles, and Braden Powell attended church services. A neighbor visited with them in the afternoon, leaving the home at about 5 p.m. This was the last time that Susan would be seen by anyone outside of the Powell household. The entire Powell family, Joshua, Susan, Charlie, and Braden, was reported missing on December 7th by relatives. Joshua's mother, Terica, and his sister Jennifer went looking for them at their home shortly after being informed that the children had not made it to daycare that morning. They attempted to make contact with both Josh and Susan but failed. Fearing the family had succumbed to carbon monoxide poisoning, the police broke into the home but found no one inside. They did note that 2 box fans were blowing at a wet spot on the couch. Susan did not show up for work on December 7th. Her purse, wallet, and ID was found at the family home. Her cell phone was later found in the family's only vehicle that Josh had been using. At around 5 p.m. that day, Josh returned home with the 2 boys and was taken to the police station for questioning. He claimed that he had left Susan sleeping at home shortly after midnight on December 7th and had taken his boys on a camping trip to Simpson Springs in western Utah. Police visited Simpson Springs on December 10th, but found no evidence of the campsite that Josh had described. They found it suspicious that Josh would take his small children camping in blizzard-like conditions after midnight when they were scheduled to go to daycare just hours later. Additionally, Josh had not told his boss that he would not be coming to work that day, and explained to police that it was because he thought it was Sunday rather than Monday.
Likely story.
Right. During the search of the Powell home on December 9th, investigators found traces of Susan's blood on the floor, life insurance policies on Susan for $1.5 million US, and a handwritten letter from Susan expressing fear for her life. DNA test results matched one blood sample with Susan, while the other sample came from an unknown male contributor. In August of 2012, West Valley City Police released documents showing that Josh took actions that were regarded as suspicious following his wife's disappearance. So mind you, this is how long?
2009 to 2012. I was
Right.
scrolling up to see that myself.
Josh liquidated all of Susan's retirement accounts, canceled her regularly scheduled chiropractic sessions, and withdrew his children from daycare. He had also spoken with coworkers previously about how to hide a body in an abandoned mine shaft in the western Utah desert.
What the?
Police had interviewed the eldest son, Charlie, who confirmed that the camping trip had occurred. However, he stated that his mom had gone with them and did not return. Weeks after the disappearance, a teacher reported that Charlie had claimed that his mother was dead. Susan's parents claimed that while at daycare several months after the disappearance, Braden drew a picture of a van with 3 people in it and told his teachers that Mommy was in the trunk. Investigators informed the media that they planned to question Josh again and subpoenaed all footage and interviews of Josh from local TV stations. On December 14th, Josh obtained an attorney, and police stated that he became increasingly uncooperative. A few days later, Josh took his sons to Puyallup, I'm not really sure if that's how you say that, to stay with Stephen, his father, for the holidays. And by December 24th, Josh was considered a person of interest in the case. On January 6th, 2010, maybe that was a typo earlier. That could very well have been a typo. I don't know. Anyway. Let me get back down to where I was. Okay. On January 6th, 2010, he returned with his brother Michael to pack up the family home and indicated he was permanently moving to Puyallup. Once there, Josh occupied a home with his 2 sons, his father Stephen, his brothers Michael and Jonathan, and his sister Alina. Josh indicated he would rent out his house in Utah. Soon after the move, the website susanpowell.org was launched and was described as the official website of Susan Powell. The site had anonymous entries that defended Josh as the victim of a smear campaign by Susan's family, his estranged sister Jennifer, and the LDS Church. The site also speculated that Susan's disappearance was connected to that of Stephen Kosher, a former journalist who vanished the same week as Susan, and that the two had run off to Brazil together. It was widely believed that these posts were concocted by Josh and Stephen. In late 2010, both men claimed that Susan had abandoned the family due to mental illness and that she had left with another man, but there was no evidence to support this. Upon learning that Stephen was obsessed with his daughter-in-law, police scrutiny extended to him as well. Computer images that were seized from Stephen's home in 2010 turned up 4,500 images of Susan taken without her knowledge, including close-ups on specific body parts.
Jeez.
Police also turned their attention to Michael after learning that he had sold his car to a junkyard in Pendleton, Oregon, shortly after the disappearance of Susan, and had later ordered satellite images of the lot. When police found the car, a sniffer dog indicated that decomposing human remains had been in the trunk, but DNA tests on the car proved to be inconclusive. On September 14th, 2011, authorities discovered a possible grave site while searching Topaz Mountain near Nephi, a desert area where Josh had frequented while camping. There were signs of soil disturbance and shoveling. However, after digging a few feet down and carefully sifting the soil, the police were unable to locate any remains. Relations between the Powell family and the Cox family were becoming increasingly hostile. After a police raid in their home in 2011, both Josh and Stephen spoke to major news outlets regarding journals that Susan had allegedly written about the relationship between herself and Stephen. Stephen claimed that he and Susan had been falling in love prior to her disappearance, and he cited the content of the journals, which were written when Susan was a teenager, as evidence to support his theory that she was mentally unstable and could have run away with another man. A judge issued a permanent injunction forbidding Josh and Stephen from publishing any material from Susan's journals, ordering the pair to either return or destroy any journals already published. On September 22nd, Stephen was arrested on charges of voyeurism, which I had to look up, which is the sexual interest in or practice of watching other people engage in intimate behaviors, such as undressing, sexual activity, or other actions of a private nature.
Fucking peeping Tom.
Right. And child pornography, after police found evidence that he had secretly videotaped women and young girls, including Susan.
What a sicko.
The Assistant Attorney General for Washington State, John Long, stated that Joshua was a suspect in the in the child pornography investigation. Chuck Cox filed for custody, which is Susan Powell's father, for custody of Susan's children the day after Stephen was arrested, and a Washington court would eventually grant Cox temporary custody of the boys, ruling that Josh would have to move out of Stephen's home if he wanted to regain custody. Josh rented a home in South Hill. However, authorities later alleged that he never actually moved into that home and only made it appear that way to satisfy the court's instructions, which is weird to me.
Right.
In late September of 2011, Josh's estranged sister Jennifer stated that she believed that Josh was responsible for Susan Powell's disappearance.
Get it, sister?
His other sister, Alina, had also been suspicious of him. However, she later withdrew her suspicions and felt that Josh had been unduly harassed by the investigation. By this time, the West Valley City had spent more than $500,000 on the investigation, with the mayor, Mike Winder, indicating publicly that he felt that the case warranted the expense. Later, in 2011, Josh underwent a series of court-ordered evaluations in the state of Washington. The evaluation determined that Josh had adequate parenting skills, a steady employment history, and no criminal record or history of domestic violence. However, the investigator raised concerns over the ongoing criminal investigation, Josh's failure to admit normal personal shortcomings, his overbearing behavior with his sons, and his persistent defensiveness and paranoia. The initial recommendation was for Josh to have visitation with his son several times a week to be supervised by a social worker. In the last week of January 2012, Utah police discovered about 400 images of simulated child pornography, bestiality, and incest on a computer seized from the Powell family home. The computer was bought secondhand by Susan and had been viewed, and this content was viewed by the previous owner. However, the authorities misled the court and accused Josh of having viewed the images. The images were not considered illegal due to them being hand-drawn or cartoonish, but were cause for great concern by evaluator James Manley, particularly given that Josh had previously denied possessing any such material. It was recommended that Josh receive a more thorough psychosexual evaluation and polygraph test, but Manley suggested no change in the visitation schedule with Charlie and Braden. Meanwhile, Michael, Josh's brother, established a Google Sites page that claimed that Susan's parents were abusing and neglecting the boys in collusion with child welfare authorities, and that West Valley City Police had both mishandled the investigation into Susan's disappearance and were harassing Josh. Lawyers for the Cox family disputed the allegations, and Google removed the site after a few days for violation to terms of use. On the morning of February 5th, 2012, a social worker had brought brothers Charlie, 7, and Braden, 5, to see their father. It was supposed to be a supervised visitation with their father, Josh Powell, who was the person of interest in the 2009 disappearance of the mother of his children. It was reported that Josh rushed the boys into the house and pushed the social worker out of the home. The social worker immediately called 911 while Josh allegedly struck both Charlie and Braden with an axe and then set off an explosion that blew up the entire residence.
Oh my God.
Both boys and their father were killed in the explosion. Searchers have never found the body of Susan Powell, and Josh was never charged with her murder. Her family wholeheartedly believes that he killed her, and investigators continually eyeballed him for the crime. As a result, Susan's parents, Judy and Charles Cox, wait a minute. I think that sentence is out of
sequence.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. So, even though he was eyeballed for the crime, because of that, her parents obtained custody, but Josh took that away from them forever. On February 11th, 2013, approximately 1 year after the death of Josh and his sons, Michael Powell, his brother, killed himself in Minneapolis, where he had moved for graduate school. He jumped from the roof of a parking garage. Police had questioned Michael several times in 2012 after discovering his old Ford in the Oregon junkyard, and Michael was evasive about why he had left that car there. Utah authorities have since stated that Josh and Michael were most likely accomplices in the murder of Susan. On May 21st, 2013, West Valley City Police closed their active investigation into Susan's disappearance, stating that they believed Josh murdered her and that his brother, Michael, who also committed suicide in February of 2013, after suspicion had grown around him as well, had assisted in concealing her body. There have been several attempts to have Susan legally declared dead. In March 2015, Chuck Cox won a protracted court battle with Terica and Alina Powell over the control of Susan's estate. Terica and Alina had sought to have Susan declared legally dead to collect life insurance, but Cox ultimately gained full control of the estate. The Cox family also sued the Washington Department of Social and Health Services and its social workers, claiming that the agency prioritized Josh's parental rights over the safety of the boys and facilitated in their deaths. In 2015, a federal court granted summary judgments to the defendants, ruling that the social workers had immunity and that the DSHS was not negligent. But in 2019, an appeals court partially overturned that decision, ruling that the social workers did have immunity, but the question of the DSHS's negligence could proceed to trial. And at trial, a jury ruled that DSHS was negligent and awarded $98 million to the estates of Susan's two sons. Susan's family also pressured state lawmakers in Washington and Utah to pass bills that would restrict or block visitation rights for parents being investigated for murder. I mean, that should be...
Right, that shouldn't have had to have just now made it there.
Right. Stephen Powell was released from prison on July 11th, 2017, after serving a total of 7 years for his voyeurism and child pornography convictions. He died of natural causes in Tacoma, Washington on July 23rd, 2018. Susan Powell remains a missing person, but considering what Josh did to their sons, it is believed that she was murdered by him as well. And in early 2022, a cave exploration team led by Dave Sparks of Diesel Brothers took on the challenge of searching an abandoned mine shaft in the Utah desert in search of Susan's remains, which that series on YouTube is how I became familiar with this case in the first place. The team discovered several rib bones, possible human vertebrae, scraps of clothing, and other possible evidence of human remains. The remains were sent to a lab with DNA testing, concluding that not only were these bones not Susan Powell's, but they were animal bones. The pants recovered with the bones tested positive for male DNA, and the family is trying to identify who they belong to. So, that's fucked.
Yeah.
I feel good enough to say that.
Right. Do you want to do that little disclaimer at the bottom or wait until...
I'll wait.
Okay. Alright, so... Damn. Okay. Well, now, I'm going to cruise right on in Comedic relief.
Thank you. I need it.
Dad jokes.
I like dad jokes.
All right, so I got these. I included a link in my thing that I'm not even going to use. So the joke link that's in my email, don't worry about that bad boy. Don't worry about that little guy.
Okay.
So these jokes I'm about to tell you. I'm going to tell you these, and I got some more that I'm going to tell you. But these jokes I got from TikTok.
I got to link the TikTok.
It's the jelly roll. It's jelly roll. Because, you know, we all know I love jelly roll. Also, I'm just here for Bunny. But it's fine. Did you hear about the bacon cheeseburger that couldn't stop with his jokes? He was on a roll. How does a penguin build its house?
Oh.
It glues it together. Why is Peter Pan always flying? Because he never lands. This one cracked me up. In the movie E.T., what is E.T. short for? Because he got little legs. Why did the Invisible Man not take the job offer? Because he couldn't see himself working there.
Oh my god.
What do sprinters eat before a race? Nothing. They fast. Why is it a bad idea to iron a 4-leaf clover? You shouldn't press your luck.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
So I ordered a chicken and an egg from Amazon. I'll let you know. What rock group has 4 men that don't sing? Mount Rushmore.
Oh my god.
What's a pilgrim's favorite kind of music? Plymouth Rock. I skipped some of them.
I should have watched. I didn't watch the whole TikTok because I was like, I want to be surprised.
Right. He just cracks it. Him getting giggles because he's telling his daughter these, and she's looking at him like, "Shut up!
When are you gonna stop?"
Right, just stop. All right. So then, I will send this link to the email. Hold on, I gotta get rid of all these flipping pop-ups. All right. So these. Disclaimer: these are dark humor. Okay,
Yes.
so comedic relief, yes.
I'm here for it.
Comedic relief, yes, but also kind of dark. So if you're offended by dark humor, stop.
If it bothers
Stop right
you,
now.
Go ahead and we'll see
stop.
you next week.
Right. If I can ever get to it. All right. So it's a statement. My grief counselor died. He was so good, I don't even care.
So messed up.
Today I asked my phone, Siri, why am I still single? All it did was activate the front camera.
Oh no.
A man wakes from a coma. His wife changes out of her black clothes and, irritated, remarks, I really cannot depend on you for anything, can I? As I get older, I remember all the people I lost along the way. Maybe my budding career as a tour guide was not the right choice. I was digging in our garden and I found a chest full of gold coins. I wanted to run straight home and tell my wife about it, but then I remembered why I was digging in our garden.
Oh.
So that's a little relevant to today's episode, but...
Oh, no.
The doctor gave me some cream for my skin rash. He said I was a sight for psoriasis. Don't challenge death to a pillow fight unless you're prepared for the repercussions. Hold on, I'm scrolling. I don't have a carbon footprint. I just drive everywhere. Even people who are good for nothing have the capacity to bring a smile to your face, like when you push them down the stairs.
Oh!
A man walks into an enchanted forest and tries to cut down a talking tree. You can't cut me down, the tree exclaims. I'm a talking tree. The man responds, you may be a talking tree, but will you die a log? You get it?
Yeah.
The look she was giving me is why I was like, do you get it? My mom died when we couldn't remember her blood type. As she died, she kept telling us, be positive, but it's hard to without her. What does my dad have in common with Nemo?
Oh, no.
They both can't be found.
Oh, no.
That's not a true story. Not for me. I visited my new friend in his apartment. He told me to make myself at home, so I threw him out. I hate having visitors. When my Uncle Frank died, he wanted his cremations to be buried in his favorite beer mug. His last wish was to be Frankenstein. Disclaimer, I didn't read these before. Do you know that old phrase, one man's trash is another man's treasure?
Mm-hmm.
It's a wonderful saying, but it's a horrible way to find out that you were adopted.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
My husband left a note on the fridge that said, this isn't working. I'm not sure what he's talking about because I opened the fridge door and it's working just fine.
I think I've heard that one before.
It is important to establish a good vocabulary. If I had known the difference between the words antidote and anecdote, one of my best friends would still be alive.
Oh, no.
I want to know how you make any salad into a Caesar salad. Stab it 23 times.
Oh, no.
When I see the names of lovers engraved on a tree, I don't find it cute or romantic. I find it weird how many people take knives with them on outings. See, but here in the South,
Right.
we literally just look at someone and say, do you have your pants on? And that means, do you have your pocket knife with you?
Well, also, too, I can't tell you how many times that Daniel has had to go back to the car because we've gotten somewhere and he's got his damn knife in his pocket. Even at Universal. At Universal, he thought, oh, yeah, I can take this in. He was going to go take it back to the truck. Didn't. Comes back, and he's like, hey, it should be fine. I couldn't find anything online. We get up to, on the TV, it's like, no weapons. And I was like, what did you think?
Give a man a match, he'll be warm for a few hours. Set him on fire, and he'll be warm for the rest of his life.
Oh.
When does a joke become a dad joke?
When
it leaves you and it never comes back.
Oh, shit.
So for all y'all that have said, your laugh cracks me up, KK who says, your laugh had me peeing my pants. This episode is the episode for you because I'm over here wheezing. A priest asks the convicted murderer at the electric chair, do you have any last requests? Yes, replies the murderer. Can you please hold my hand?
That's cute.
I just read that someone in New York gets stabbed every 52 seconds. Poor guy.
Oh, no.
The doctor gave me 1 year to live, so I shot him with my gun. The judge gave me 15 years. Problem solved.
Messed up.
You know you're not liked when you get handed the camera every time they want to take a group photo. Where did Joe go after getting lost on a minefield?
Oh.
Everywhere.
Oh. Oh, no.
What's red and bad for your teeth? A brick.
Oh! Ooh, that makes me feel funky. I don't like that.
My grandfather said my generation relies too much on the latest technology, so I unplugged his life support.
Oh!
My parents raised me as an only child, which really pissed my sister off. What did the Titanic say as it sunk?
Oh, no. What did it say?
I'm nominating all passengers for the Ice Bucket Challenge.
It's fucked up. People died.
If you don't know what the Ice Bucket Challenge is, you're too young to be listening to this podcast. Why did Mozart kill all of his chickens? When he asked them who is the best composer, all they replied was Bach, Bach, Bach. How many emo kids does it take to screw in a light bulb?
I'm afraid of this answer.
None. They all sit in the dark and cry. They laughed at my crayon drawing. I laughed at their chalk outline. My husband and I have reached the difficult decision that we do not want children. If anybody does, please send me your contact details and we can drop them off tomorrow.
Oh, Lord.
I have many jokes about unemployed people. Sadly, none of them work. To teach kids about democracy, I let them vote on dinner. They picked tacos. Then I made pizza because they don't live in a swing state. You're not completely useless. You can always be used as a bad example.
Oh.
What? What's the difference between a hipster and a football player? A football player showers.
Hey, I think some hipsters shower. Are hipsters even a thing anymore?
I don't know.
Oh no, I don't like that look on your face. Is this one particularly bad?
I made a website for orphans. It doesn't have a homepage.
Oh no. Oh no.
Why can't Michael Jackson go within 500 meters of a school?
Because he's sad?
Exactly. I'm sorry and I apologize mean the same thing, except at a funeral.
Oh no.
It turns out a major new study recently found that humans eat more bananas than monkeys, but I can't remember the last time that I ate a monkey.
That is messed up.
What is the difference between a Lamborghini and a dead body? I don't have a Lamborghini in my garage.
Oh no.
I don't have a garage.
Where do you keep the bodies?
What? I don't have any of those. When ordering food at a new restaurant, my wife asked the waiter, what do they do to prepare their chicken? Nothing special, he explained. We just tell them they're going to die.
Oh no. Poor chickies.
This one's What is the difference between Iron Man and Iron Woman?
Is this about to be...
One is a superhero and the other is a simple command. I will smack a bitch.
I don't even own an iron.
I don't... I have an iron in my home, but I don't own it. I stole it from my mom.
Oh.
Like,
does she know?
Ago. Maybe.
She's probably bought a new one since then.
I'm sure.
Unless she's just like, you know what? Fuck iron.
Right? I'll never forget my grandfather's last words to me just before he died. Are you still holding the ladder?
Oh, no.
That one's stupid. I've heard this one before, and I react to it the exact same way every time. What's the hardest part of a vegetable to eat?
I don't know.
The wheelchair.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I feel like I've heard that one before.
So, funny story.
Oh, no.
And I'm real sorry if the person that the story is about is listening too, but I won't say your name. And, but it's fucking funny. So, TJ plays Xbox. Mm-hmm. And he's got this one person that he met on Xbox that they play games all the time. So this dude is like on dating sites and shit. And he started talking to this girl who's in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And I was like, bro, it's like a taco truck every day.
No.
All right. I mean, there's a ton.
Pick one more good one to go out on.
Hold on.
My back itches.
Okay, let me do this little section right here.
Okay.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. Okay.
Okay.
My grandma has the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo.
Oh no.
What do you call an inexpensive circumcision? A ripoff.
Ooh.
What did the woman with no hands get for Christmas?
I'm afraid to ask.
No idea. She hasn't opened her present yet.
Oh shit.
I work with animals, the guy says to his Tinder date. That's so sweet, she replies. I like a man who loves animals. Where do you work? I'm a butcher, he says.
Oh, shit. It's messed up. It's messed up.
So there's your comedic relief for the episode, guys. You guys got to hear my good giggles and
comedic relief, my foot.
And I think there was a snort or 7 in there.
For sure.
I crack myself up sometimes, guys.
So I've got our nonprofit of the week.
Yep.
And I originally chose something else, and I was like, no, this seems in bad taste. So I chose womenagainstabuse.org. The mission of Women Against Abuse is to provide quality, compassionate, and non-judgmental services in a manner that fosters self-respect and independence in persons experiencing intimate partner violence, and to lead the struggle to end domestic violence through advocacy and community education. And I will leave a link where you can donate to that organization directly. And if you are experiencing domestic violence, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233 or go to thehotline.org. All calls are toll-free and confidential, and the hotline is available 24/7 in more than 170 languages.
And this is a good time to plug also, guys, if you're experiencing that or have in the past. Well, I want to say more along the lines of if this is something that you've experienced in the past and you've gotten away from, good on you. I am so happy for you.
Yeah.
But please, please, please know that being in a situation like that causes everlasting issues, and you need help.
Yeah.
You may be handling it great, and I hope that you are, Some of us handle things better than others. Some of us process things better than others.
Right.
But please do not be afraid to reach out for help, even if you don't think that you need it.
Right. Because
therapy, counseling, that is not anything to be ashamed of.
No,
guys.
Definitely not.
It is definitely not. Brittany and I both have been there. I honestly have been looking this week into getting back into it.
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that I think everyone can benefit from, but definitely if you've come from a domestic violent background.
Right.
Not
or
that,
any kind of trauma.
Not
really.
that I'm saying that I deal with domestic violence, because I definitely do not, but
no.
But yeah, any kind of trauma that you've gone through. Right. I've been there in the past.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That's it, guys.
So, follow us on Facebook,
TikTok,
Instagram,
Twitter.
Email us
At wanderersofweird@
gmail.com.
Send us spooky stories.
Any kind of stories.
Right. Send us topic ideas that you guys want to hear about. Let us know where you're from.
Leave us a review.
Yes.
We haven't had one of those in a while.
Even if you can't do it on the platform that you listen to us on.
You can email us too.
Email it to us, guys. Send us a
Facebook message.
Yeah, slide in those DMs.
Slide into our Instagram DMs.
Do we even check the Instagram DMs?
We haven't gotten any.
Okay.
I check the Instagram.
Okay. I check the TikTok and the Facebook.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know what you're thinking. Share us out. Who are we telling this week?
Tell your boss's stepdaughter.
What if they don't have a stepdaughter?
Stepson.
What if they don't have a stepson?
Nephew.
Okay. What if they're an only child?
Then they can go fuck themselves.
Get wrecked!
On that note.
Have a great week, guys.
See you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.